You're given the right to vote, you should vote.
I don't really follow it, mate. They're all the same to me.
The whole political system in Britain's a mess.
It's just a bit of a dive, really, now.
So you won't be voting for Suella Braverman?
I was offended that you're leaving us.
She should be put in jail.
But unfortunately, the world is not a democracy.
I don't want a pineapple, no. You sound like an old school Labour voter.
Of course, I nearly had a heart attack.
So following on from our video in beautiful Godalming,
I think the country's in spiritual disarray.
we thought we'd come to Fareham Waterlooville to be precise, with regards to the constituency. And it's the home of another Tory big hitter, Suella Braverman. Of course, Jeremy Hunt is the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Suella Braverman has been a tribune of the Tory right.
The Guardian reading, tofu eating, wokarati.
Former Home Secretary.
Uncontrolled illegal immigration.
She's a very big beast in the Tory party, although she's slightly out of fashion now with Rishi Sunak. Nevertheless, her losing her seat would be enormous. However, caveat, far less likely to happen. That said, her majority is definitely under attack. And what I find fascinating with Suella Braverman is she's a politician who talks about protests, about trigger warnings, about free speech on university campuses, Israel, America. She says everything about everywhere, except about her own constituency.
Hey guys, could I just ask, do you fancy having a quick chat with Suella at all? No?
Let's keep walking.
And this is a really fascinating constituency because it's not quite as affluent as Godalming here in Fareham, but also if you go elsewhere to Waterlooville, you'll see firsthand the kind of decline, which I think is the hallmark of Britain over the last 20 years. It's the kind of decline that frankly Westminster and London journalism isn't especially interested in. So this constituency brings together some of the real contradictions and tensions of British politics, but also the Tory party. Because in seeking the selection for this new seat, which was a combination of Fareham and East Meon, Suella Braverman had to beat a lady called Flick Drummond. So Suella Braverman, very anti-migrant, pro-Brexit, on the hard right of the Tory party. Flick Drummond, a bit wet, a bit soft, a bit of a Remainer, very pro-EU. So I'm really curious about what we're going to hear today here in Fareham and elsewhere in the constituency, because in this place we have some of the tensions at the heart of Britain as an economy, as a society, but also some of the tensions at the heart of the Conservative Party. So let's see what the people of Fareham think of Suella Braverman.
She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow.
So whenever I come to Tory voting seats, the first thing I do, is I look for the Waitrose. And that's not just to get a tasty sandwich and a bottle of sparkling water. It's also because those are the people that the Tories won in 2010, they won in 2015, they won in 2019 and 2017, but post-Brexit they've kind of been losing them. But here's the thing, Fareham Waitrose, it shuts in 2020. So no Waitrose sandwich for me, but more interestingly, what does that say about the high street in places like this? Prosperous southern, southeastern towns where not even Waitrose can maintain a presence. What on earth is the world coming to?
This bloke voted to leave the EU, now he regrets it. He wants to stay.
Repentant. He's not repentant.
We haven't had Brexit. The Conservatives have betrayed us.
We don't. So, did you see the soap you done? Yeah. When I had a COVID,
I thought you might have gone and fallen asleep, Harry, again.
Not very keen on her at all.
But words fail me talking about that word.
Somebody who uses inflammatory language to stir up the BNP and all the rest of them, and that is very silly.
She doesn't do very much for us in our area.
You're undecided? You don't look undecided.
No, Reform with Nigel Farage. They have said they'll do something about this lot coming across the channel.
But this is interesting, because are you based in Fareham?
Yeah.
So your Tory MP is Suella Braverman?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So she would be the go-to Conservative MP if you're like, I care about migration, but you're saying actually...
She makes noises about the lot coming across the channel, but she's happy with them all the legal ones.
I think it's rather difficult to decide because they're so argumentative.
There's no one I really want to vote for at the moment, if I'm honest. There's been good and bad.
All my life, seriously.
All your life, and now you're undecided.
Now I'm a bit I'm beginning to waver slightly.
All my friends and my family are all of the same opinion as well. No, I was pretty disgusted with her when she was in Parliament and what have you. No, not keen at all. I think she'll struggle, yeah.
In an ideal world, well, we're not dealing with ideal people, are we? And I'm one of them. I think that immigration needs to be sorted out fairly.
It's very, very difficult to respect something that you've respected for the majority of your life when suddenly you find out, you know, how many things they have done and not said sorry or anything like that. I don't know.
I've never voted Conservative. I can't vote for them, no. No, they have been, the last 14 years, they have destroyed us as a nation. We used to make everything, cars, boats, planes, trains. That is what we did in this country. We started the Industrial Revolution, made cars, boats, planes, international shipping, travel, opened up trade routes. It's all there. We've got a lot to be proud of. Or we did have, until Margaret Thatcher came along, and that's another story we won't talk about.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
So we're about to duck into a car to go to a place called Wickham, which is in the same constituency, still potentially having Suella Braverman as their MP after July the 4th, but it's very different, feels much more rural, and of course, has no train station. Let's see what people say there. I have a suspicion it'll be rather different to sentiments here in Fareham. So as I've said already, this is quite a large constituency that may be electing Suella Braverman again. Fareham, Waterlooville and Wickham. And we're in Wickham right now. It's a tiny little place, village of about 5,000 people, very pretty, very quaint. They've had a horse fair every year here since 1269, can you believe it? And it's also home to, allegedly, England's second largest intact medieval square. Surely this should be a cultural treasure of national heritage and significance and importance. I'm sure they look after it incredibly well. After all, this is a Tory heartland. I imagine it's revered, it's kept almost like a precious child which nobody dare damage. And it's a car park. Of course it's a car park. Of course England's second largest medieval square is a car park. You didn't really think the Conservative Party could serve things, did you? You've not heard of Suella Braverman, really? Lucky you, I'm jealous.
I won't be voting for Suella Braverman.
No, nor will I.
I work in the public sector and I see scores and scores of jobs that are unfilled. And there are people who want to come to this country who would do those jobs.
We certainly need more health professionals, don't we? Because all the health professionals came from the EU and they've all had to go back because of Brexit.
Listen, there's loads of other things going on, but the main priority now is these 1,000 people every day, however many people come out every day. That is the problem. That is the problem. Do you know what I mean? No, there ain't no other problem about it. That's the problem now. Let's sort that problem out, and then we'll sort out the scores, we'll sort out the National Health Service, we'll sort out the corrupt banks, and we'll sort out all the other corrupt fuckers that are out there. What more do you need to say? It's corrupt. We've lived off these two parties for the last 100 years, and what have they done? Absolutely fuck all.
I think it should be totally lawful for no MP to be ever a millionaire. You know, how can a person who's a multi-millionaire and wife who is a billionaire be a prime minister? It's ludicrous.
Democracy is a beautiful thing, but unfortunately, the world is not a democracy.
So you're losing faith in democracy? You've lost faith in democracy?
There's no such thing as a democracy.
So we're in Waterlooville, which is in the same constituency still, and it has to be seen to be believed. Parts of it have to be seen to be believed. Remember, Britain is the 6th largest economy in the world, if you look at nominal GDP. The southeast of England is the most affluent part of the 6th largest economy in the world. And it looks like this. Something's going really, really badly wrong. Now, there are some parts of Waterlooville which look appalling. It doesn't all look like that, but lots of it does. And it didn't look like this 20 years ago. Something's gone very, very wrong with a country's economic model when its more affluent regions have places that look like this. It's just a fact. And I struggle, personally, to understand why anybody would vote for a political party offering more of the same. I'm just asking about the general election. Who are you planning to vote for?
I'm not telling you.
Can I ask you about the general election on July the 4th? Who are you planning to vote for?
I don't vote. Never have done.
You never voted?
No.
Why?
Because they're just as bad as one another, aren't they? All of them. He wouldn't know what it's like to have a bill, would he? Rishi? He's a billionaire, isn't he? Billionaire. He wouldn't know what it's like to have an electric bill come through the post, or a red bill like most people do.
How old are you, if don't mind me asking?
I'm 17.
You're 17. You can't vote?
No.
But if you could, who would you vote for?
I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't. I've got personal opinions which are against what both major parties are doing.
NHS, security, you name it, the police, everything that you can think of that matters to the man in the street, I think.
Nothing works really anymore.
Lost touch. It doesn't seem to, no. And everybody you speak to feels the same.
When you're a bit older, would you be looking to stay in Waterlooville?
Oh, no.
Where would you want to go?
Abroad. Just not here.
Terrible with all the shops being closed down and everything. It used to be really good when I moved up here.
So why are you voting Labour? What's the thing that's pushing you forward for that?
Conservative, not much good now, are they?
No?
Really? Not much good. Nope.
And what makes you say that? Where have they failed? Where have they let you down?
Well, the immigrants, boat people.
That's the number one issue for you?
Yeah, and also, cost of living. The rise in utility bills, and you just sit back and do nothing.
What's been really interesting today in this constituency, which is so different, by the way, 3 really different places we visited, all in one seat, is that the people who dislike and often hate the Conservative Party more than anyone else are to the right of the Conservative Party. You'll hear people say, I want less immigration, stop the boats, secure the borders, and you think, well, we're in Suella Braverman's seat, you must love Suella Braverman. No, actually, I've very rarely heard any of those people, if even one of them, say, she's doing a great job, I really like her. None of them have said that. And so I think in a way, that's creating a new political reality. You've had people who over 5, 10, 15 years, maybe longer, have been radicalised by the rhetoric and policies of the Conservative Party on stuff like migration. You can agree or disagree, that's just what's happened. And the Tory Party haven't delivered. And many, many people now, like I say, have been radicalised, and they're more angry with the Tory Party than with anyone else. And I think it speaks volumes when you have an MP like Suella Braverman, who is so congruent with that wing of the Conservative Party, so disliked by the very people she's isolating, she's trying to talk to. And the person who benefits the most from all of that, of course, Nigel Farage. What I heard today, again and again and again, is I don't vote, I don't like politicians, I never vote, I like Nigel Farage. There's clearly a anti-political, post-political audience he could attract. And I think his political project over the next 5, 10, 15 years lives or dies on its ability to get those people out. And by the way, that's what got Brexit over the line in 2016. Can it be repeated for a party in a general election at Westminster? I don't know. But what's pretty clear is that those people hate the Conservative Party.